Let's talk a little bit about Jim Cornette. He's going to come in and take over as the authority figure, replacing Bruce Prichard. What's the thinking here of Bruce out, Cornette in?
Well, Bruce had, you may know better than me. Did he just finally tap, said, I can't deal with Jeff's ass anymore? Or it had, he felt it run its course?
I think it was a money issue.
Okay.
Best I can recall. Boy, this sounds awful, but I think he was probably, if not among the highest paid performers on the shows. And he was getting first class air and car pickup and the whole thing. I mean, you were rolling out the red carpet for him.
I wanted him bad in the beginning, and Ed started questioning it, right?
He's the authority figure, so it's not like he's going to be paying it off with matches. So if we are cutting costs, I assume that was what it was.
That, but also I can remember kind of having these conversations again.
I remember his per day rate, and it was substantial.
Ed's in his defense, but still lack of knowledge. He just didn't have, and I'm sure he's changed now, but like, I can't tell you how many people came up to me in that short period of time and say, damn, I enjoy working with Bruce. What a producer he is.
Right.
And I would just kind of chuckle and go, hey, can you go tell Ed that? Because Ed just saw Bruce as a talking head.
He saw him as a character on TV and the dollar amount associated with it.
Yes, yes.
And it's hard to really monetize or associate dollar value, even with what Bruce does today. Like, either you get it or you don't, right?
Buddy, that's a whole nother podcast, but you said it. Either you get it.
I mean, I'm not trying to, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, here's what's bizarre. In this day and age, I'm not talking about word for word writing promos. Just don't get me down that avenue. But with the recent passing of Bobby Knight and me watching different clips, and again, me being the basketball junkie and the sports junkie, and you talk about all this, at the end of the day, and Jim Harbaugh, college winner, you kind of look at Miami Dolphins, all that. At the end of the day, a head coach, you could absolutely replace that name in another language and say, oh, he's not the head coach. He's the lead producer.
Yes.
What do you mean no. What he does is he gets the most out of his players. Well, that's a coach. No, for today, let's just call him a producer. Well, you can't call that. He's the head coach. It's because I think we have it ingrained in our brain. And I'll say this, the magic of Jarrett and Jerry Lawler, the dividends speak for themselves. You can go to our man that we're kind of talking about, Jim Cornette, with all the data, but the Memphis ratings, the Louisville ratings, in a very, very, these aren't even B markets. In those 70s, they're C markets. Nashville, Louisville, Memphis, all that. We'll call it B and C markets. But the revenue that was produced out of that, if you really drill it down completely and throw everything out, great TV time slots, you got this, and partners and opponents, it all goes down to Jarrett producing Jerry Lawler. You can't slice it and dice it any other way. So talent not being produced is about like,
careful.
Yeah.
Hey, so Bruce Prichard was a fly-in. Jim Cornette, not a fly-in.
But what I'm saying is, I'm talking about the value of what Bruce brought to the table that was completely dismissed in this era.
Yes.
You said, all right, we're going to bring Jim Cornette. Why'd you bring him? Well, guess what? Now, Cornette lights a fire under a lot of folks, and he does that week after week. And his
by the way, did you see the clip of him talking about your tongue-in-cheek invitation?
I did not.
He addressed it on his podcast.
Oh no.
And he said, now he was posed the question, are you going to go pick up your old pal Jim Cornette and bring him down to the show? And of course, Jeff said, because he means it, Well, Ben, I'd love to see Corny, and I would love to see Jeff. I'm paraphrasing, of course, but not there. He said it tongue in cheek. He knew I wasn't going, blah, blah, blah. So he gets it. But it was funny that he had to make a statement on social media just off of our off the cuff. Hey, you're in town. You're gonna look him up. I mean, come on. But the internet reported it as if it was an actual invitation, like you were trying to make an overture to get him on the program. Like,
It's crazy.
and so just so everybody knows, when that happened and it blew up, Jeff just screen capped it and sent it to me and says, "Thanks a lot, partner." Because it was like, dude, I'm not trying to make things difficult. It's just you're in his town, your buddies with him, just go say hello. And
Oh man,
boy, the internet just went off on that.
yeah. The other thing, it's a style of producing TV. I believe figureheads, and that term, yeah, I get it, and I'm in agreement. They can be overused and they can be convoluted and everything that went with it. But all through time, and I'm going way before the cable explosion, whether it's Stanley, the matchmakers of the day, they are a thread that is, I just think, integral to storytelling. And Bruce out, Cornette is a colorful storyteller, different style of Bruce, but that's what he was used for in these segments, as well as produce folks backstage.